lead writer for Assassin's Creed 4 Black
Hello.
Flag. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
We just saw each other at San Diego Comic-Con.
I know.
We were on the panel together. Hopefully you guys watched it, but right now we're here at the Ubisoft offices in San Francisco at your guys' pre-GamesCom event, and I got to play some Assassin's Creed 4 finally!
About an hour, I think.
Well, I may have hogged the station just a little bit. But you guys have showing off quite a few things, some of the open world. I got to go underwater.
Yep.
I got to go into some of the cities. And I wanted to kind of ask you some questions about why you guys specifically chose this setting in the Caribbean. Because there's pirates everywhere, right? There was pirates all over the world. What made you guys decide to go with the Caribbean?
Well, it was a mixture of a few things. When I was finishing Revelations, they had said, "Do you want to write the next game?" I said yes. And
of course.
So around August, actually this time, 2 years ago, I was asked to research the possibility of pirates because we wanted to use the naval system that we'd been developing for AC3. We hadn't shown it yet to anybody, but we knew it was strong. And we knew we wanted to do even more with it because, it's in AC3 it's isolated to single missions that you go out on. We knew that we wanted to do an open world naval. The other idea that was floating around was we'd created Hatham and Connor, and we thought it'd be cool, rather than do like how we did with Ezio, show his entire life, what if we showed big chunks of a family's life? So we had this idea. Edward had already been created by Corey and Matt, the writers of AC3. So they said, how about combining all these ideas, what would be cool? And we said, well, if you go back, let's say 35, 40 years from the Hatham, where Hatham starts the story in AC3, 1753, you're in the golden age of piracy. And so as soon as you say that, you're like, well, we can't ignore that. That's awesome. The golden age of piracy actually spans about 70 years. So we decided our only sort of stumbling block was, where do we start our game? Should we start Edward like in the William Kidd era, like 1699? Or should we go forward into the Blackbeard era, which is like 1716, 1717? And we decided ultimately, for his age and things, we wanted him to be in the Blackbeard era. So we're at the tail end of the golden age of piracy, and that's where the idea began. I started researching. In fact, if you saw me at GamesCom or at any of the preview events for Revelations, I had little pirate books tucked away in my bag because I was reading about pirates. And so that's the long answer about why we did pirates.
Well, I certainly am loving the Pirates theme, and I know a lot of fans of the AC franchise are also really digging the Pirates theme as well. So let's talk specifically about some of the cities. So today I got to go to Havana.
Right.
Was Havana a big pirate hub?
No, it wasn't actually. Havana was important because it was the center of Spanish culture in what would they call the Spanish Main, which goes from sort of the Texas area. I think they even owned the Louisiana area at the time, all the way down Central America, and then a lot of South America, except for where the Portuguese settled, where Brazil is now. So the Spanish really controlled this area, and it's where they would take all the gold that they were plundering from the natives and the old, now extinct Mayan cultures and the Aztecs and things. They would bring all that gold to Havana, and then they would ship it back to Europe from Havana. So pirates didn't actually dare set foot in Havana because pirates were mostly British at this time.
I did notice that it was really challenging moving around the city, and that stealth was something that needed to be utilized a lot. And a lot of the events that I've been to so far for Assassin's Creed, one of the kind of taglines is we're really going back to our roots with stealth. What kinds of things are you incorporating from a story perspective to make sure that that's really emphasized in AC4?
From a story perspective, Edward himself gets involved in the Assassin-Templar conflict very early, but he doesn't take sides on it. He wants it for his own personal gain. So if he can learn things from Assassins and Templars and figure out which way he wants to go, he's going to do it because he's a pirate. He doesn't pirate just money, he pirates techniques as well. But on the gameplay side, we've tweaked so many little things that it adds up to this massive new type of stealth. For instance, from stalking zones, you can whistle at people and pull their bodies into stalking zones. You can shoot from stalking zones without actually standing up and shooting. We have new doors that you can get into, and whistle to people from there. We've improved guard AI so that they'll still detect you and be aggressive, but you can get away from them slightly easier to feel like you can get back into that stealthy mode. blowpipe, the tools we've given you to put people to sleep or aggro them so they'll fight each other. All these little tweaks add up to a very different stealth experience we feel for this game. The Far Cry 3 team, some of the people we brought over were also instrumental in just marrying the mechanics that, the crafting system leads into this system, leads into the economy, and the way that all the systems talk to each other, so that by doing one thing, like say harpooning, you immediately have the tools to then go craft something cool for yourself. And then by crafting something cool for, like, say, your jackdaw, now you can go take on that ship that you couldn't attack before. So there's this nice, very clear loop that's not hidden from the player, and that's the main thing. Far Cry 3 did a great job at not hiding things from the player, but making them all available. Like, you want to do this? Well, then just do this. One step away. You're always one step away from doing exactly what you want to do, and that was the biggest sort of philosophy that they brought over there.
Let's talk a little bit about the companion app, because I saw a lot of interaction between the game and the app today, and I thought it was interesting that the former Brotherhood mechanic that was in the game is now called Kenway's Fleet, and it's on the app.
Yeah.
So why did you guys make the decision to get rid of your companions and kind of turn them into ships instead?
Well, and funny, this actually also ties into our stealth. We got rid of a lot of those one-shot kill stealth things. So yeah, we don't have a Brotherhood in this. Edward's kind of like a lone wolf. His crew stays on his boat, but when he goes into cities, he's by himself. And so that also means that he can't call on his Brotherhood to kill everybody and then clear the path for him. What's replaced that is that now when you're at sea and you take a ship, you have the option to send it to your fleet. And what you do basically is you nominate one of your crew to be its captain. They sail off, and they might sail off to India or Boston and do some pirating there for you, and then bring back the money that you acquire there. So it's much more of you're not sending assassins to cities to assassinate people, because Edward's not an assassin himself. He has a lot of assassin friends, and they're constantly harping on him to be like, why don't you join us, man? But he's like, no, I got some pirating to do.
You said something that kind of got me thinking.
Oh.
So if Edward isn't an assassin, who is he doing assassination contracts for?
The assassins, but only for money.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But he has no, he's not invested in the philosophy right away.
He's just greedy.
But he gets the assassins, they're like, look, man, I know you don't like our philosophy, but would you like to do some contracts for us for money? And he's like, yes, I would. So, and then they give him a stealth bonus if nobody knows about it, right? So it still works very well, but he's got a much more selfish approach to the whole thing.
You guys showed us a screenshot of present day Abstergo.
Yes, that was my I did a little Twitter thing.
Tease of Abstergo, and I want to know what's going on with Abstergo. What's happening? Obviously, there was a very definitive ending to AC3.
Well,
no spoilers here.
No, there wasn't a definitive ending.
Well, I mean,
because a certain cyber lady was released into the world, and so there is a sense though that we're not rebooting, but we've taken that Desmond story, concluded it, but now we've jumped sideways. So everything that ever happened in that is still legit, but now we've jumped sideways, and I just got word that Abstergo has just opened an entertainment office in Montreal, Canada, Montreal, Quebec, and they are hiring people to work there. And so this October, you can go work at Abstergo Entertainment and go do some research so that maybe you can work on a cool pirate-themed experience.
Wait, are you trying to say that Abstergo is a real thing?
I don't know. I think so. I mean, I've heard rumors.
So you had said that there was a lateral jump. Does that mean that the Abstergo present-day Templar activities in AC4 are happening concurrently with what happened in AC3?
Well, no, now, it's a year later, right? Now, because we've now reached the present day, right?
Right.
So now it's 2013 in real world, and it's 2013 in our game.
Right.
So we're a year after the events of AC3. So you will see familiar characters, but they will interact with you and not a third person character.
Interesting.
They will come up to you and look you directly in the face and say, hello, you.
My last question is, I want to talk just a little bit about the appearance of Aveline in the PlayStation version of the game, because I know that news almost kind of got like sideswiped at E3, and I thought that it was really great to see a female assassin join the roster of awesome assassins that are in the franchise. So I mean, how do we run into her? Where does she appear?
Well, because of the setting, Obscurio Entertainment, you are working on Edward Kenway, but other coworkers are working on other ancestors, and one of them happens to be Aveline. We don't just have Aveline missions in the game, but we have lots of Aveline content buried. If you sneak around and hack around in the present day, you'll find some cool Aveline content where her DNA came from, how people accessed her memories. That's how we sort of justify the content, is if you're a part of the Sony family, you can just select, hey, I want to go see what my colleagues are working on, and it happens to be Aveline's memories. And this is a story that takes place after the events of Liberation, and it's a nice little, say, hour of content, and it tells a little, I would say, like if Edward's story is a novel, this one's a really juicy short story.
Well, listen, Darby, thank you so much for talking with me today. We are excited to see more from AC4. You guys are coming out in just like 2 months now, 2.5 months.
Yeah, and if you're in Gamescom, come to the floor and you get to play some of this yourself. So.
Yeah, so check it out. Thanks, guys. We'll bring you more coverage right here on The Escapist.